This training is to show you how to search for books using the catalog system with Destiny at the Brookview Library. As a reminder, when you log on to the computer and bring up your internet, you will type in destiny.warren.k12.in.us. This page will come up and you'll click on your school, Brookview Elementary. From here in the upper right-hand corner, you log in. And just as a reminder, your username is your just regular email username, and the password is different. Everyone has the same password. If you need that, please look on the computer that's in the library or send me an email and I can send it directly to you. After you are logged in, you'll get this screen. Mainly when you're in the library with your students, you're going to be using the catalog or the circulation button. We will be going over the circulation button in a future training video. Today we're going to be going over the catalog button. Catalog just contains all the books that are in the library. So the books that you see on the stacks on the shelves are cataloged in Destiny. To search for a particular book, you will go into catalog and this screen pops up. The location always defaults to Brookview Elementary. So let's say that you want to find, or a student asks you where the Diary of a Wimpy Kid is. So you would type in Diary of a Wimpy Kid, or the title or the subject or a keyword or phrase, and press enter. And then on this, it will come up and say whether it is on the shelf or not. So the call number tells you where it's at. The F stands for the fiction. Remember from the previous training, those are the first two stacks. By the author's last name. So this will help the student find that it's in the fiction section under the author's last name of K. So they would need to find the K's in that section. However, it's very important that you look over here first, because even though we have 3 copies of this, they're all 3 checked out right now. So if a student is looking for a particular book, you need to check this over here. This does not have any available, but down here you can see that we have 2 copies and 2 are available. So the student can go to the shelf and hopefully find this particular book. Now let's say that you are wanting to find a particular book, but maybe it's not in the library. In that case, you would do the same kind of searching, but you would actually click this down arrow key to be able to find the MSD of Warren Township. So the down arrow key here. And let's just say that, like, if you typed in Mossflower, that particular book, you're going to get an error message that says no local copies available. But if you do the down arrow key and click in MSD of Warren Township, and then you press enter, it will show you that there are actually 4 of 5 available off-site. That means there's 5 copies in the district, 1 of which is checked out. If this is actually hyperlinked, so if you click on this, you will be able to see where those copies are located. So you can see that we have one at Hawthorne, Lakeside, Pleasant Run, and the one that is checked out is at Raymond Park, and that is due. Well, it was due back in 2015, so I would say that's probably a lost book. But we still do have 3 books that are available. And what you would do is, if you wanted that particular book, and this is for any book, so if you have books that you need for your classroom, if you need a particular book that we don't have at Brookview, you can actually look it up. And if you see it at a different school that has a media secretary, you can email that secretary. And I have everyone here. You can email that secretary. So let's see, where was Mossflower? So we've got one at Hawthorne here. So you'll go over here and check for Hawthorne, and that's Christy McCaslin. You can email her and ask her if she can pony that book over to you. And then it'll depend. Sometimes they can't, because even though it says it's checked in, the teacher might be using it. But these are the people that you can check, and you can have pony over any particular book for yourself or for your students. After you or your student is done with that book, it is your responsibility to put it back into the pony, back to the school attention to that particular person. So if you got it from Hawthorne, you'd need to send it back to Christy to Hawthorne. And it will be checked out to you. So just know that that book is going to be under your name until you get it back to Hawthorne, and then they will check it back in. Last thing is just a reminder, when we looked at the Diary of a Wimpy Kid, remember that the F is is in the fiction. But if you do a search for other things, let's say you did a search for hurricanes, as you learned in a different previous video, when it's a number, that's the Dewey System, which is nonfiction. So if you did something on hurricanes, it's going to be in the 300s. That's the far too tall stacks. EC is the early chapter books. Those are at the back section of the fiction section. The E, the early readers, the elementary readers, those are the shorter stacks and the stack up against the wall. And then, of course, we've already gone over the fiction. So hopefully that helps on cataloging and using that catalog button. Remember, after you log in, you'll click on catalog to get to that. And in the next video, we'll go over the different types of circulation that you can do. If you have any questions, email tmartin, T-M-A-R-T-I-N. Thank you.